Yo, what's good, Team Irish Dragon? Welcome back in. Hope everybody had a great Halloween, had a whole lot of fun, and unfortunately that is now behind us, and it's time to look ahead to the future. And that includes a new surprise patch from Pokemon Unite, the Freezing Rush Part 2. Alright, so let's get into this. I haven't read over this yet. I thought we'd just do this with my realist reactions with no preconceptions, and share it with you guys. So let's move into it. Freezing Rush Part 2. Yes! Love it already. Don't care what else is in this. I'm probably going to regret saying that. That's not going to age well through this video. But Lapras getting some love. I've been saying that for a while. Lapras needs some love. Here we go. Some stat changes. Defense and special defense has increased. It looks like they're making it a bit tankier in the late game. It's going from 550 at level 15 to 625 on defense. Special defense 450 to 512. So they're making my Lapras a little bit tankier, letting it be a little bit stronger late game. Now, I don't know how that's going to scale from levels 2 to 14, but this is a good thing. Basic attack, healing effect has gone up from 2% to 3%. Love that. Bubble Beam, shield amount has increased by 15%. That's awesome. Bubble Beam has really needed some rework for longer than most of the other moves, I think. Perish Song, damage 15%. Yo, member up and get ready to drop that Lapras execution emote, because we going to be playing some Perish Song Lapras. Lapras' win rate has remained low since a significant nerf in the previous update. Its durability, healing, and shield abilities have been adjusted to help Lapras stay on the front lines longer. Perish Song damage has also been increased to allow Lapras to have a meaningful impact even without all 3 hits connecting. Let's go! Oh man, I already thought it wasn't as bad as people thought it was, so I'm pretty excited for Lapras. Ooh, you guys can't see what's next, but I'm nervous. Blissey! Safeguard, shield amount 15% increase, helping hand cooldown reduction, and effect duration a second longer at 4 seconds. Safeguard and helping hand have been buffed due to low usage rates, enabling Blissey to better protect allies by providing immunity to hindrances and serving as a more effective support option. Yeah! Improving effectiveness against hindrances. Anything to mitigate CC, the never-ending CC of Pokemon Unite that makes some matches completely unplayable. I'm here for a Safeguard Blissey buff, guys. I think there's a lot of potential there. I think with certain team comps against certain team comps, Safeguard can be a really good thing. And I'm glad that the Safeguard helping hand is getting a little bit of a tune-up. So let's just keep on moving. I like what I see next. I like it. You guys can kind of see behind me. Look at that. We got Greedent. That's right. Greedent getting some love, it looks like. Belch. Movement speed decrease 15% for 1 second to 40% for 2 seconds. That's a crazy increase to the debuff Belch puts on the enemy team. And increasing its damage by 12%. I think Belch already did quite a bit of damage. And the moveset I've been playing with Greedent that I'm extra looking forward to share with you guys now. We're going to have to scrap a video and make a new one for the buffed Greedent. But it's coming, and I'm very excited for a Belch Greedent damage increase. Bullet Seed cooldown. Alright, it got a half-second cooldown. I don't know if that's going to be what makes it playable when it gets stunned and doesn't do anything for a little bit. But that's good. It's not bad. Covet cooldown. Definitely needed a cooldown reduction. It got 1 second down, so it's only a 10-second cooldown now. I think they could have gone a little bit higher with that, or a little bit lower, I guess, technically, with that. Maybe 8 second cooldown would still be okay on Covet. I think Covet has a ridiculously high cooldown. The Unite move, Berry Belly Dive. Energy needed, 10% decrease. Alright, so we're going to be able to unite a little bit more often with Greedent. That's good. Due to consistently low pick rates, certain moves, cooldowns, and crowd control effects have been improved to enhance Greedent's battle capabilities. This adjustment allows Greedent not only to roam the map independently, defeat wild Pokemon and score points, doing Greedent stuff, but also to dive into team fights, deal damage, and apply crowd control effectively. So they're like, hey, you can do the Greedent stuff, but you can also do the defender stuff now. I look forward to anything making Greedent better. I was an anti-Greedent guy for the longest time, and recently I've really turned a new leaf on Greedent. Yo, and this next one, I know at least a couple of people that are going to be pretty excited about this. My boys Wally and Sabinicus. We're looking at an Azumarill buff. Although I think Azumarill was already pretty good. But let's see what they did. Stats, special defense. Level 1 to 15 was 64 to 320. It is now 80 to 399. So they're making a little bit tankier against special attackers. and scaling a little bit heavier into the late game. That's good. I think Azu did fall off a bit in the late game, especially into those big team fights when it's not, you can't so much 1v1 anymore. So if they make him a little bit tankier, scale a little bit better in the late game, I think that's good. Whirlpool gets a 1 second cooldown reduction to 9 seconds. Not bad, not bad. Unite move Belly Bash. Shield amount was 5% of its max HP. It is now 6.5%. So it's getting a 1.5% shield increase. That's not bad. That sounds pretty good. With limited options for approaching opponents, particularly against ranged attackers, Azumarill's special defense and Unite move shield have been buffed. Whirlpool cooldown has also reduced for easier timing and usage. Sounds good. Look, I think Azu did need a little bit of love. I think it was a very strong Pokemon, but going into the late game, into those big team fights, like I said, was a little bit of a struggle. So that's good. We'll see if that makes a huge difference and if it breaks Azumarill. I don't know how I feel about this next one, guys. Glaceon. Looks like they're going to be buffing Glaceon. Let's see what they did. Stats. Defense. 35 to 175 from levels 1 to 15 is now 35 to 225, and its special defense 25 to 134 is now 25 to 180. So they seem to be scaling these guys up a little bit in the defensive stats into the late game, which is fine. This next thing, Icicle Spear damage 8% increase. I don't think Icicle Spear needed a buff. I think it hit plenty hard. As a defender main that gets shredded by Icicle Spears, I think it was doing fine. Freeze Dry damage an 8% increase. That sounds fair. I disagree with the Icicle Spear damage increase quite a bit. Despite the buffs applied in August, the win rate has remained low, so the damage has increased. Additionally, due to the challenging environment where attackers with low durability are easily knocked out and struggle to perform effectively, their defenses and special defense have been increased. I understand the defense increases. Alright, I understand making them a little bit more defensive. I don't understand increasing the attack of, or the damage of Icicle Spear. But we'll see. We'll see. Up next, we got one that doesn't upset me. Espeon. It should. All evolutions getting buffed should be terrifying. But it doesn't, because I like Espeon. And again, we've got the defense and special defense going up, like it said in the last one. Fair. Psyshock. Damage. 10% increase. That sounds like a lot. I prefer Psyshock over Stored Power. I think it's more fun, a bit more challenging. And now you're going to be rewarded a little bit higher for playing the Skill Shot. Okay. That's fair. Future Sight. Damage. 10% increase. Okay. So when I do play Stored Power, you kind of have to run Psybeam, right? But I do like Future Sight for those boosted resets into a boosted Stored Power. So I may have a lot of fun with the Espeon buffs, guys. The combination of Psyshock and Future Sight has been lacking in damage, resulting in a prolonged low win rate, so these moves have been buffed. Additionally, due to the challenging environment where attackers with low durability struggle to perform effectively, their defense and special defense have been increased. Fair. I don't know if increasing the damage of Espeon is what needs to happen. It doesn't sound bad to me. I think Espeon has been performing slightly under what I grew accustomed to on Espeon. So, I'm hopeful and happy about this one. Oh, and if I was happy about that one, guys. Gardevoir! Oh, my Guardy! Let's go. What'd they do? Increase the defense and special defense. Great. Psychic. Special defense reduction effects from 20% to 25%. Buff my Psychic. And with a 10% damage increase, dude, Guardy's broken. Psyshock damage, 5% increase. Future Sight damage, 5% increase. Guys, Guardy's the play. I'm calling it right here. Tomorrow's video, probably going to be a Gardevoir video, because I'm going to be playing a lot of Guardy, I think. I freaking love Future Sight, Psychic Gardevoir. Let's go. Gardevoir's high damage potential is paired with limited mobility and self-defense, yet its damage output was insufficient to stand out. I don't know if I agree with that, but I'm here for it. Leading to a low pick rate. Damage for several moves has been increased accordingly, while also raising Gardevoir's defensive stat to aid in survival. I don't think increasing its defense is going to help with that. I think what they're saying is it was harder to play than some other Pokemon, so nobody played it. Maybe if we make it stronger, people are going to play it. Sure, whatever. Buff my Guardy. I'm here for that. I don't know if it needed it. Guardy felt pretty strong. But, again, buff the mons I play, I'm okay with it. Oh no. Oh no. Mewtwo Y. Basic attack speed has been very slightly increased. Future Sight. Move speed reduction has increased from 25 to 35% with a 1.5-second cooldown reduction to 8.5 seconds. Recover. 1 second cooldown reduction to 1 second with a healing amount of 30%. Recover Plus now heals 40%. Teleport has had a cooldown reduction of 1 second to 11 seconds. Okay, that doesn't sound as bad as I was expecting when I read the words Mewtwo Y. Mewtwo Y has had low win and pick rate since the nerf in July. Basic attack speed was increased to improve combat effectiveness, and cooldowns for recover and teleport have been adjusted to strengthen survivability through defensive moves rather than durability increases. That sounds fair. Honestly, that sounds like a fair buff to Mewtwo. It's not that strong. I played it recently. I don't play it a lot. Very, very rarely. But it did feel lacking just compared to what it was used to. I'm just glad that they didn't make recover basically give it almost permanent Mega Evolutions again, because it does feel like Mewtwo Y needs to Mega Evolve to be of any use in team fights. So, that's not terrible. Oh, here we go. It's going downhill. Zacian. That's not a lot of text, though. Sacred Sword. Defense piercing effect. Oh, they're nerfing it. Okay, cool. Sacred Sword is getting nerfed. Defense piercing from 20% to 10%. Attack increase 30% to 20%. And movement speed reduction 30 to 20%. Okay, so it increases Zacian less and debuffs the enemy less. Cool. In high rank matches, Sacred Sword has significantly increased Zacian's win rate. Consequently, its overall effectiveness has been reduced. Cool. That doesn't affect my Zacian at all. You guys know I'm a Metal Claw Zacian now. So, good. That's fine. Nothing to worry about there, guys. Alright, let's keep this going. Ooh, Miraidon. Charge Beam, boosted damage, 10% decrease. Good. Electro Drift, boosted damage, 8% decrease. Good. Parabolic Charge, cooldown. Ooh, cooldown increase from 10 to 11 seconds. Good. Nerf Miraidon. I'm here for a Miraidon nerf. I don't play a whole lot of Miraidon, but when I do have to play against it, I don't like the amount of damage it does. Damage from boosted Charge Beam and Electro Drift remain high, so they have been further reduced. Parabolic Charge cooldown has also been adjusted to reduce the skill rotation rate, lowering overall damage output. Nothing I don't like to hear about Miraidon. This may bring it into a little bit better balance. I think it was still pretty freaking strong. Uh-oh. They got me. The Ho-Oh. Flame Vortex, which I assume is Fire Spin. Damage, 15% decrease. Shield amount, 15% decrease with a half-second cooldown increase. Sky Attack has a half-second cooldown increase. And its Unite move, Rekindle the Flame, has a 20% energy cost increase. So a little bit, they nerfing Ho-Oh again, which I think is totally reasonable. Again, as a defender main, I do occasionally play the Ho-Oh, and I think it's still really strong. The protective capabilities of Flame Vortex for both Ho-Oh and its allies were too strong, so it has been nerfed. In high-rank matches, players have become more adept at utilizing Ho-Oh's Unite move to revive allies effectively, leading to a higher win rate. To balance this, the usage frequency has been reduced. Okay, but like, as long as you have it for Ray, it's the same thing, right? And that's like why you made its Unite move, right? To bring people back to win fights, right? Like, that's the whole point. But, I mean, that's on the players. It's on the players, right? I think it's fine. Less Unite moves, less damage from the defender. That's fine. I'm okay. I don't think it's going to make Ho-Oh unplayable. I think it's going to still be just fine. But that reduced shield does worry me. So we'll have to see if that is a big factor. But I think Ho-Oh's still fine. Yes! Finally! Pikachu! Electro Ball. Damage. 5% decrease with a half-second cooldown increase. Good. Thunder. Damage. 5% decrease. Acceptable. Unite move Thunderstorm. 8% damage decrease. Sounds good to me. Due to its ease of use and strong movesets that make it effective against any opponent, Pikachu has had the highest pick rate this season. Who could have seen that coming? To address its near mandatory selection or ban status. These changes have been made? Is that the end of that sentence? Did my outburst of mockery confuse the sentence? Either way, nerfing Pikachu is good. They did stupid crazy buffs to it, and anything that pulls it down a little bit is good in my book. So let's keep right on trucking through this. Ceruledge. Saw this one coming. Expected it on the last one, so not surprised. Getting some nerfs. Bitterblade. Damage 19% to 10% decrease. Okay, from level 5 it gets a 19% decrease all the way to level 15. It staggers down to a 10% decrease. So it's just overall weaker, extra weaker in the early game. Fair. Healing effect 10% decrease with a cooldown of a half-second increase. Sounds good. Bitterblade Plus. Healing effect 15% decrease. That sounds absolutely fair. Bitterblade had banana level healing. It was insane. Psycho Cut. Defense reduction effect from levels 5 to 10 is 47% to 40% decrease. Psycho Cut Plus, same thing, 33% to 29% decrease from 11 to 15. So they're nerfing its early game a little bit more than they're nerfing its late game. That sounds perfectly reasonable. Phantom Force damage, 15% decrease with a 1-second cooldown increase. That sounds fair. Honestly fair. Ceruledge's power at level 5 often led to one-sided matches. Key moves, especially those affecting early game performance, have been nerfed. Yeah, exactly. So it's coming out of the jungle at level 5. Quite a bit weaker, not as strong. Let's say that. We won't say weaker because it's probably not going to... It's still not going to be weak, I don't think. I think it's going to be a much fairer Pokemon now. So, totally good with this. Alright. Also not unexpected, but still a little surprising. Armarouge. Flame Vortex, damage 20% decrease with a shield amount 25% decrease. So Fire Spin is getting nerfed again. Psyshock, special defense piercing effect from 50% to 35%, nerfing Psyshock. Alright. Armor Cannon, damage 10% decrease with a 1-second cooldown increase. Again, also sounds fair. Armarouge, even with the nerf, was still very strong. Despite adjustments in the previous Freezing Rush update, Armarouge's win rate did not decrease as expected. In particular, Flame Vortex and Psyshock had an excessively high win rate, so these moves were nerfed. Armor Cannon was also nerfed due to excessive damage and high use frequency. Sounds good. Pull it down into a balance so that we don't always have to ban Armarouge and we can ban some other Pokemon and make it more fair. I like this one. I think it's going to be just fine still and probably where it needs to be. Now this one is a bit surprising to me. Mewtwo X. Psystrike, damage reduction effect 25% to 15%. Psystrike's damage reduction effect was overly strong, so this move has been nerfed. I personally did not play Psystrike on Mewtwo X. When I play it, it's Future Sight, so I don't know about this one that much. But it doesn't seem like Mewtwo X needs to be nerfed for any reason, but I could be wrong. Again, I don't think I've played Psystrike Mewtwo X since release, when I decided Future Sight was always going to be the play on Mewtwo X no matter what. So, here we are. Mewtwo Y getting buffed, Mewtwo X getting nerfed. Listen, if this is the most questionable thing in this patch, I'm down for it. And we got some bug fixes. Fix an issue where Blastoise's defense and special defense from level 7 to 8 were lower than intended following the balance adjustment on October 17th. Cool. Honestly, all pretty good. I think this is going to be a really good thing for Pokemon Unite. I didn't really see anything that I was like, I can't believe they're doing this, like we have in the past. So I think they did a really good job in this patch, and I look forward to playing it. Let me know in the comments what you guys are excited about in this patch, what you think they overlooked, what you think they definitely shouldn't have done, and your favorite and or least favorite things about this patch. I want to hear from you guys and your opinions. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content, and I'll catch you in the next one. Keep living the dream.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.